Standing By, the Terry and Ted podcast is brought to you by the UPS Store Canada, now with over 400 locations across Canada.
Hi there, I'm Terry DeMonte. That's Ted Bird. This is the Standing By podcast for Wednesday, December the 17th, 2025. It's the episode that we do just before we break for the Christmas holiday.
Last episode of the year.
Yeah. Hello, Ted Bird.
How are you?
Hello, Ted Bird.
2025's over already, eh?
Mm-hmm.
My mother told me when I was 10 years old, the older you get, the faster time goes.
Yeah.
That always stuck with me, and she's right.
Yeah, my parents used to tell me the same thing. And boy, does it ever, and it goes faster every year that arrives. It just seems to spin by faster.
Yeah, the first 10 years of my life lasted forever.
Yeah. Remember when you'd say, I'm 10 and a half?
Yeah.
You never hear anybody say, I'm 67 and a half. As always, the podcast is brought to you by our title sponsor, the UPS Store. Did you see Stuntman Stu's tweet this week?
I did, yes.
He said he heard about the UPS Store so much that he decided to give up on the post office and get some stuff down to the UPS Store.
And he said it worked out very well.
And it worked out very well. Thank you, Stuntman Stu. We appreciate that. Stu is a born Montrealer who's made quite a career for himself in Ottawa. Stu was one of the guys that got flung out of a radio station. He's not alone in that. That happens a lot across the country. And has built a nice little business for himself, being a brand ambassador for a number of companies in Ottawa. Good for him.
He's a good Joe, Stu.
He's a real good Joe. So thanks for that, Stu. Stu is taking advantage of all the services that the folks at UPS offer. You've heard Ted and I go on and on about it. The store just has a solution for almost anything. If you're moving, if you're shipping, if you're setting up an office at home, if you need a mailbox because you're tired of stuff going to your home business at your house, they can do that. If you need to get a passport picture, they can help you with that. How about shredding documents? You got to get your documents shredded. You shouldn't leave important documents lying around to be stolen in this day and age of stolen information and ID theft.
And then if you're hungry, you can put them in a bowl, put some milk and sugar on them, and have shreddies.
There you go. Ask your UPS store guy about that.
About shreddies.
Yeah. You got the shreddies that Terry and Ted were talking about? I'm sure they're thrilled at the UPS store. Especially this time of the year, the discount, the 30% ground shipping discount is still in effect as we head towards the end of 2025. That was in answer to the post office problems. Now, I think the post office is up and running, but if you really truly want to get something where it's got to go to the UPS store and ask them about ground shipping. It's not nearly as expensive as you think. You can track it, and it usually gets there within a day. The UPS stores are everywhere, as I like to say. There's over 400 locations all across the country. Go to the UPS store. .ca. And before we go any further, as we get ready to come to the end of the year, I just want to thank all our sponsors, because all of them are friends, all of them are family-run businesses, and all of them have pledged support to us. And it's difficult to do. It's difficult to get sponsors to come on board and say, we believe in you and we think you're doing a good job. And they keep coming back.
Yep, they do.
We're deeply grateful to the Mersons, the Riches, the folks at Accutech, the folks at Playground Poker, and of course, David and the people at the UPS stores across the country. Really, really appreciate that.
Did we cover every? Oh, and Sugar Sammy.
And Sugar Sammy, yeah.
Speaking of friends.
Our good friend Sugar Sammy, yeah. This is, as I mentioned, the last episode before the Christmas break. I thought about doing, a Christmas hullabaloo. But I don't know about you, but things are different now in terms of Christmas. We, as a family, Christmas was the biggest deal in our house. And we always gathered with Mom and Dad and came from wherever we were to have the celebration. And it was raucous, and it was filled with smells of great baking and cooking. And it was filled with lots of bottles of wine, lots of mirth, lots of merriment. And I wish... not that I didn't appreciate it, but I wish I would have taken more stock in it because it's gone now. because my parents are both approaching their 90th birthday, they can't do it anymore. And they've moved into a smaller apartment, so they don't have the room to do the big bash. And my sister is in one part of Ontario, my brother's in another, I'm in Montreal. And it's been kind of passed down to my niece, Kayla, who is a Christmas junkie. I think I talked about this last week. And she's doing a big celebration for her kids to try.
Well, that's good. She's picked up the torch. That's good. And you always did embrace it. I don't think you're giving yourself enough credit there. You always said that Christmas was the biggest time of the year.
Really was. Yeah. And it's I think it's probably because of the stage of life I'm in. It's different. It's quieter. Jess and I will have a quiet Christmas Eve and a fairly quiet Christmas Day, because that's just the way it's worked out. I'm married now. I have a celebration of my own at home, and things have changed because time passes, as we were saying. Yeah. So it's just different. And all of that to say, when I thought about doing a hullabaloo and getting guests and whatever, both our your mom and my mom are
old.
They're older now.
Older, yeah.
And it's a little harder to get them on Zoom and get them on the phone. And your mom...
My mom doesn't hear well.
She doesn't hear well.
She's still sharp as a tack.
Yeah. Same with my mom.
But she doesn't hear well, so it would be difficult to have a conversation with her on Zoom.
But with this being December 17th, I thought that we would talk about some Christmas things. What are you going to do on Christmas Day?
I'm going to get together with some friends. I'll probably get together with Charlie and Sam and Allie, my three who live here. Lauren is going to stay in Paris, my eldest, because her and her husband John bought a new place there this year, and it's a beautiful, beautiful place right in the middle of Paris. And so they're going to spend their first Christmas at their new place. Yes. And good for them.
Yes.
And apparently there were some frowns on this side of the Atlantic that they weren't coming home for Christmas.
Yeah.
And I said to Lauren, you don't owe anybody anything. You stay right where you are. You do what you want. You're not kids anymore.
I have a new pad in Paris.
Yeah. Pad is putting it lightly.
Yeah. Want to come to Beaconsfield? No.
I'm good, thanks.
Not that there's anything wrong with Beaconsfield.
We'll stay here in the troisième arrondissement.
Yeah, and she's at that age where why not?
Yeah.
Eh?
So I'll see my three kids, and then I'm going to get together with a bunch of my friends.
That's
my
good.
other three kids, I should say.
I want to plug our Christmas special. Last night I went searching on YouTube for our Christmas special that we did. Get this, 4 years ago. That was 4 years ago now. I can't believe it. When I was still living in British Columbia, I remember doing this too because we had to organize a bunch of Zoom calls. And did we record it here? I don't remember.
No, because I think it was during the pandemic.
That's right.
So you were at your place in BC.
Yes.
I was at my place in Point Claire, and our guests were wherever our guests were. It was all done remotely.
I don't know how we pulled it off because it isn't bad. If I do say so myself.
Yeah.
I was listening to it yesterday, and it opens, if you're a Montrealer, you know this name, Paul Reed. The Paul Reed Christmas special was a radio staple in this town for 1,000 years and still is. I think CJD still runs it. And I asked Mike Reed, Paul's son, because Paul passed away years ago, if he would give us permission to use some of the Paul Reed Christmas special. And Mike he's a very, very nice man. And he said, of course, I would be honored if you would use it. So the Standing By Christmas special opens with Paul Reed. And we talk about Christmas. PJ Stock was our first guest. He talks about what it's like to be a hockey player at Christmas time and being away from the family. Jan Arden was a special guest. She talked about her Christmases. Chris DeBerg played the guitar for us and talked about Christmas. He was part of it. Your mom was a guest. My mom was a guest. And it's a little over 2 hours, which is rare for us, but we had a lot to fit in. And, Maureen Holloway was also one of our guests who used to be a staple during one of the epochs of my morning show. Maureen used to be on the radio with me every morning. And I listened to it and I thought, you know what? If you're baking or hanging out or you've got a long drive ahead of you, it's not bad, if I do say so myself. Hang on while I pat us on the back. It's called the Christmas Special, and you have to look for it. If you type in on YouTube Terry and Ted Christmas Special, you'll see it. And a lot of people have watched it over the last 4 years. I keep watching the number go up. So if you're looking for a little bit of Christmas hullabaloo, listen to the Standing By Christmas Special.
Nice.
It's on YouTube. The other thing I noticed this year, I haven't found... every year there's usually a good Christmas commercial that everybody talks about. You know, the big companies usually come up with some really either tear-inducing or hilarious Christmas commercial. There aren't many of them anymore.
Well, you're watching streaming services mostly, so you're probably not seeing a lot of commercials. The only commercials I see now are on hockey or football.
Is that right?
Because other than that, I'm either online or I'm watching streaming services.
But usually what happens if a good one comes out, they go viral.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if you remember, I looked up this one last night. I don't know if you remember the Apple phone commercial where the kid and his family are going to the grandparents' house and the kid looks like he's on his phone all the time. And it's like a 2.5 minute commercial. And the premise is you think that the teenager's ignoring the Christmas celebration, and what he's doing is quietly making a film for the family.
Oh, nice.
And as the commercial ends, it's a little bit, Merry Christmas, everybody. It's really, very, very special. And one of the things that surprised me when I watched it last night, that was 2013. If you remember the commercial I'm talking about, that was 2013. That was 12 years ago. How about that? Apple's done one again this year. It's called The Critter Carol. It's been viewed 17 million times on YouTube. Doesn't do much for me, but I don't know. The other one I love is there was one out in 2019. They hired the kid who played Elliot in E.T., and they had an E.T. reunion. I think it was for Xfinity in the States. It's on YouTube.
How old is he now? 50?
Yeah, I think he is.
Yeah,
I think he's close to 50, if not.
Well,
50.
that movie was early to mid 1980s.
Yeah, it was the 80s. Yeah, one of my all-time favorite movies, and it's fun to see him. The other guy I keep seeing on TV is Kevin from Home Alone.
Right,
Macaulay Culkin.
Yeah,
he keeps ka-ching. He keeps he keeps getting hired by companies to
drugs aren't cheap, Terry.
Yeah. No, I think he's okay now.
Is he? Good.
Yeah, I think he's okay. There's also the John Lewis and the Tesco commercials from their British supermarkets. They usually do home runs, but I haven't seen one this year that really has impressed me. The commercial that really impressed me this year came from France. A supermarket in France called Intermarché has done a Christmas commercial that looks like a Pixar movie with critters. It's quite good. If you type in Intermarché Christmas commercial in YouTube, you'll find it. And the last one I'm going to mention is I don't know why I'm talking Christmas commercials, but I got on a bit of a
roll.
Rant, roll. I don't think I'm ranting, am I?
No,
am I
not
ranting?
at all.
Yeah. Do you remember the Canadian Tire bike commercial where the kid clips out? This goes back to the 90s. Mm-hmm. Just do yourself a favor and type in Canadian Tire bicycle commercial. And it's the story of a kid on the prairies at a farm in the 1930s or whatever. And he just can't ask his dad for the bike. So
because he doesn't think his dad can afford it?
Exactly. So he cuts out the bike out of the Canadian Tire catalog and leaves it lying around. And at the end of the commercial, the father calls over the kid and says, "Boy, come on over here and help me with this hay."
Boy.
Yeah. And he hauls the bicycle out of the back of the truck. It's really quite special.
No doubt.
Yeah, very, very special commercial. Anyway, there's my list of Christmas commercials. Ho, ho, ho.
How do you like my festive shirt?
I was just going to ask you about it because, again, you're the best dressed guy on the podcast.
Well, red is not normally my color, but I wore this shirt today because it matches the red blotches on the side of my face. You see those?
I do.
Yeah, I don't know what happened there. I think I might have had a minor epileptic seizure in my sleep because those are one of the symptoms.
They look like, you could have been bitten by a rattlesnake, it looks like.
Yeah, and a couple of times this week I forgot to take my anti-seizure medication.
Oh, come on, Grandpa. What are you?
I know.
Come
yeah.
on. Forgot to take my pills. How do you forget to take your pills?
I'm very busy, you know. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, I had a good run. So.
Okay.
I want that to be my my what do you call it? Epitaph on my headstone. He had a good run. I bought this shirt at Maximus, which is like M.H. Grover and Sons.
Yes.
It's one of those big and tall men's stores, which I normally don't shop at.
Yep.
But they have a brand called Marco that's a Quebec-made shirt brand. Well, they do more than shirts. It's a Quebec-made clothing brand, and I've got a couple of Marco shirts, and every time I wear them, I get complimented.
Well,
on them.
it's a really nice shirt. I was going to tell you.
But this is not a Marco.
No.
The Marcos at Maximus all fit me like muumuus. And the guy said to me, he said, "You're not really," he said, "you're entry level, big and tall at best." So this one is a 1X.
It's really, really nice. It's a really, really, it looks like a really high quality shirt. I was going to tell you that when I came in this morning.
Well, I got a deal on it. I think we were talking last week about I buy shirts now if they're cheap. I don't care what they're made of. If they're cheap and they look okay, then I buy them. But so I'm entry level big and tall, but I could easily eat my way into 3X.
Don't do that.
Give me 3 or 4 months.
I like the store name Maximus.
Yeah,
it's very
isn't that
manly.
great? Yeah.
Reminds me of
Sounds like a place you'd go and get a toga.
Yeah, Gladiator. Yeah, but I've said this before. People love calling me fat, which is really nice. When I mentioned a couple of weeks ago on Facebook, we found this nice Verdun cafe because I had gone into M.H. Grover.
Right.
I love M.H. Grover. Kenny and
Montreal landmark.
Yeah.
Verdun landmark.
Yes. Kenny and Jacob and his family are super, super nice. And you don't have to be a big man or a tall man to shop there. They have really good quality stuff for everybody.
Yeah.
Somebody made a comment of, "Oh, Terry, shame on you. You have to show up at M.H. Grover." That's first of all, you're a grown-ass person. Like, what are you in grade 4?
Yeah.
Like, what are you doing? You know, I've said this before. I'm never going to be a skinny guy. I've got a head bigger than a bowling ball and shoulders that are way too big for my body. and it's always been like that. And do I have extra pounds on me? I've had extra pounds on me for most of my life. So fuck off. Like I said, what are you in grade 4? Anyway, my point being that I love to go into M.H. Grover, and you can go to Maximus without eating your way into a 3X.
Well, that's it. There was lots there that fit me.
Yeah.
Just not anything beyond the, at a big and tall men's store, I'm a 1X.
Yeah, and 1X is comfortable.
Yeah.
Right? And we're at an age where we shouldn't be wearing tight-fitting clothing.
No. I'm not going to jam myself into skinny jeans. Yeah. That's not happening.
No, and you know what?
It's not dignified.
I don't think it's dignified either. I've seen a lot of people who, in my opinion, and I don't go up and tell people this because you can do what you want, but in my opinion, there's age-appropriate dressing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So there's the guys that dye their hair that rust color because they think nobody notices they dye their hair.
You see that on TV a lot.
A lot. Yeah. And then you've got the guys wearing the tight-fitting clothing. You're not 25 anymore.
To each their own.
Yeah.
Cedric Newman, who is a venerable stand-up comedian, Canadian stand-up comedian, paid me a high compliment earlier this year. I was doing a show with him, and I had on like jeans and a collared shirt and a sport coat. And he said to me, one of the things you do right is you dress appropriately for your age.
Yes.
He said a lot of guys your age go up on stage with ripped skinny jeans and a T-shirt, and it's just not, it doesn't work. Yeah. And he said part of the reason that you do well with the crowds that are 30 years younger than you is that you're not trying to be one of them.
Yeah.
You're dressing your age, and you do age-appropriate material as well. Like, I make fun of myself.
Yeah.
I don't ridicule myself or humiliate myself, but I make jokes about my age, and it works.
I'm sitting here looking at you, trying to picture you with jet black hair. Ça marche pas.
And you know what's crazy about that is I see these guys like Tom Brady. Yeah. You can tell when you're watching football. Tom Brady's such a good-looking guy.
He is a good-looking
and
man.
And he dyes his hair.
I don't know why. Well,
imagine how good he would look as a silver fox. Yeah. You know, if he let his, and I've said this, and it's the same for women too. And I've said this to some women I know who are in their 40s and 50s who dye their hair. I say, you should let your hair grow out in its natural color. You're already beautiful. You would be even more beautiful than dyeing it. And it's a tough sell.
Yeah, I get it. That, vanity is one thing. I think Tom Brady, I don't know Tom Brady, but my guess is, because if you've read anything about him, and I've read a lot about him, like he weighs his green beans and, he only eats things that, I don't know, whatever it is, what was his number? 12?
12.
The DB12 or the whatever it is. With the shakes and the protein.
So very health conscious.
Yeah, he doesn't eat bread. He doesn't eat this. He doesn't eat that. He doesn't, I think he's one of those guys that is going to try and live forever. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And you and I have talked about this. It's great, I guess, until you're 90. Yeah. And then it's from my understanding, and we should be so lucky to get to 90. Not all it's cracked up to be, no matter how many times you eat your protein shakes.
You know who turned 100 this week and I think is still living the good life?
Yeah.
Dick Van Dyke.
Yeah, isn't he something?
Yeah.
He's just something else, eh?
He's amazing.
Yeah, he's a wash and joy, that man.
Yeah, he really is.
Yeah.
And he's had difficulties in his life as well. He lost a granddaughter.
Yeah.
And he lost her to, I think it's called Ray's syndrome. I'm not sure the nature of the disease, but he lost a granddaughter and started a foundation. Yeah. And I think to this day, works or is at least the face of the foundation raising money.
You live to be 100 years old, you're bound to have some
tough adversity along the way.
Yeah, I think so.
But that's the kind of adversity that shouldn't be visited on anyone.
No,
Unfortunately,
I agree.
It happens.
Yeah. Merry Christmas, everybody.
And happy birthday to Dick Van Dyke.
Yeah, how about that, eh? Isn't that something? Ted and I talked about it last night, and we don't want to spend a lot of time on it, but what a loss Rob Reiner was. Just a horrible, horrible, horrible story. And as Jess said to me last night, the world's worse off with Rob Reiner not on the planet.
And as great a filmmaker as he was and director, I mean, what are some of his movies?
Stand By Me.
This is Spinal Tap.
Only a few
Princess
good,
Bride. A Few Good. I didn't realize he directed A Few Good Men.
Yeah.
What a great movie.
Yeah, that's just a brilliant filmmaker. And if you've never watched him in All in the Family, go on YouTube now.
He'll always be Meathead to me.
Yeah,
he'll always
absolutely.
be Mike Stivic first and foremost. So I think that's a generational thing.
You'll get this. I saw somebody tweet yesterday in honor of Rob Reiner's passing. I put my sock and my shoe on first on the left foot. Do you remember that episode where Mike is on the bed and he's putting his shoes on and Archie goes, "What are you doing?" Yeah.
And then Archie tells him how to do it and he goes, "Do it that way for the rest of your life."
Yeah, we were commenting yesterday. They're all gone. Well, not all of them. I think
Sally Struthers is still
Gloria
alive.
Is still left. Yeah.
And Michael Whalen passed away this week.
Yeah.
Michael Whalen was a TSN Sports original and the Montreal bureau chief for the first Montreal bureau chief for TSN Sports Television. Yeah, he was. Yeah. And I was very surprised when I heard, and I saw it from on LinkedIn from his longtime friend and former colleague and cameraman, Glenn Koshurba. I hope I'm saying that right, Glenn, and I apologize if I got your last name wrong. And I thought, why haven't I heard about this?
Yeah.
And so I put it out on social media, and the word seemed to spread. And Michael was such a great guy. Mano, if you're watching on YouTube, Mano has put up a picture of him. You might not recognize the name immediately, but you'll recognize the face. If you're 30 or over and a sports fan in Montreal, you'll say immediately when you see the picture, "Oh, yeah. Yeah, Michael Whalen." Died of cancer at the age of 82, was a great reporter, a great journalist, but above all else was the nicest guy you would ever meet. A real gentleman.
I love when I read that about somebody, because it's been universal, it's been unanimous.
Yeah.
Everybody has said the same thing.
Yeah.
What a great guy, kind man, decent man.
Yeah, and everyone has
lovely
talked
guy.
about how above all else, above his professionalism, above how good he was at what he did,
Yeah.
what people remember about him was how nice he was. I came to Montreal in 1985 and started on the sports beat, and I'll always remember anytime I walked into a press room, and especially in my first days when I didn't know anybody, that can be intimidating.
No
You walk
kidding.
in and there's, Red Fisher's over there and Dick Irvin's over there, and you're kind of like, holy crow, what am I doing here? If I saw Michael, oh, thank God, there's Michael. I'll go talk to him.
Yeah.
Yeah, nicest guy.
It's hard to paint that picture, because I don't think that exists anymore. I could be wrong, but I'm not sure. The kind of stature and status that Dick Irvin, Red Fisher, Ted Blackman, those guys, like walking into a room with those guys, if you were a young reporter, was, kind of like being a young hockey player and standing in front of Jean Beliveau. The parallel was kind of the same. I'm not sure that exists anymore.
Someone pointed out on social media last night that part of the problem is the young guys who are just coming in think they're legends already.
Yeah.
And they don't show the proper deference and respect to the established guys. Not all of them, but a lot of them. And I've witnessed that over the years.
But I don't think they have the kind of unique platform. Red Fisher was a giant sports journalist when sports journalism was in either the Star or the Gazette. There was no other outlet for it. I'm not painting the picture properly, but I can only imagine what that was like for you, not only walking into a press conference room and seeing all those familiar faces, but also being in a locker room as a young man with people that you watched play the game when you were a kid.
Yeah.
That's got to be really
Well, I've told you
intimidating.
the story about the first time I interviewed Larry Robinson. And when I was done the interview, he said to me, what time do you get up in the morning? And I said, about 3:30. He goes, yeah, I hear you when I'm in the barn feeding the horses.
Yeah.
So I had to rush home and call my father.
Yes.
Larry Robinson listens to me on the radio. And my father, being a Leafs fan, was like, so what?
Oh, God, your dad was a Leafs fan.
Yeah.
Oh,
Isn't that something?
no.
I've told
Yeah.
you that story.
I'm sure.
And so I was, for 1 year, the first year I watched hockey, I was a Leafs fan because my dad was a Leafs fan. And then the next year, one night, I was watching the Canadiens, and I saw Jean Beliveau get a hat trick. And I said to my dad, I got some bad news for you. I got a new favorite team and a new favorite player. But he was good about it.
He was, eh?
Yeah.
Isn't that
Well, my
funny?
own son, Sam, was a Dallas Cowboys fan for 1 year before he got on the Giants bandwagon. What a big mistake.
I was going to say, he must be thrilled with that.
Well, you know
choice.
what? Sam has seen the Giants win 2 Super Bowls.
There you
so
go.
as much as they suck right now, he's been at the pinnacle with
The
it.
NFL is interesting this year because it's a whole new barrel of fish. That's good analyst.
Is that your expert football analysis?
It is. It's a whole new barrel of fish in the National Football League. We'll be right back. Do I pass the audition? No, but this year, like Denver, the Patriots, the Broncos and the Patriots. What was going on? What happened there?
I don't know what happened there, but good for
Suddenly-
them.
yeah.
A nice, pleasant surprise
Yeah.
for their fans.
And-
I think in both instances, they
Yeah.
have really good young quarterbacks.
And a lot of people are celebrating the demise of the Kansas City Chiefs because that was getting old.
yeah. I don't know if it's worth celebrating necessarily. It's
Oh,
nice
some
to
people
see.
are.
But what's to celebrate? Like who? What?
Well,
Because Taylor Swift's boyfriend plays for them?
I'm celebrating their fall.
No, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
Why would you celebrate that?
Well, I don't know, but it was
That's
like
just haters hating, I think.
It was like when the Patriots were winning
Yeah.
every year. People were like, "Fuck the Patriots."
Yeah, but there was never. I was going to say there was never anything unlikable about the Patriots, but their coach was very unlikable.
Yeah.
Bill Belichick.
yeah,
Yeah, extremely unlikable.
yeah.
Yeah. I was so happy the first year the Giants beat them in the Super Bowl because he was such a sourpuss afterwards.
On to next week.
Yeah, he couldn't say anything nice
Yeah.
about the Giants, he just pissed and moaned. And now he's got a 24-year-old girlfriend.
Yeah.
I mean, A, good for him, but B, have some dignity, man. You're built like a bag of milk. She's not with you for your looks.
I've never heard that before. You're built like a bag of milk.
Yeah, that's a Zach Martin expression. He said that about a mutual acquaintance of ours. I don't know why that guy carries himself the way he does. He's built like a bag of milk.
Matt Kundle reminded me, our buddy Matt Kundle reminded me on the weekend of a put down that I forgot he got from The Sopranos. When someone says something stupid, he says he likes to say, "I remember when you used to wait in the car." I thought that was a dandy. Let's tell people about our pal Sugar Sammy, who is, every time we get a note from him, I'm so jealous. He's living the life of Riley.
He sure is.
He's working hard. But
I was thinking to myself, I guess Sammy's on a break because he's done his shows in England.
Yeah.
And his next live shows aren't until late January in Montreal and Quebec City. But in the meantime, he sent a note this week saying, I'm in France for the finals of the 20th season of La France a un incroyable talent. I would not make a good French spy.
I was going to say, you think you could be the announcer on the show? Mesdames et messieurs, le talent est beau. No. Suivant next.
Anyway, it's the France version of America's Got Talent, and Sammy's one of the judges. He's a huge star in France.
He is a huge star in France. And you know what? He's building audiences all around the planet. Like in England, it went really well.
Yeah, it did.
Really well.
And he said he called it a test run, basically, and he said it went well, so he's got bigger plans for England for 2026. In the meantime, closer to home, he's added a January 21st show in Montreal for You're Gonna Rear. So that's, if I've done the math correctly, 7 shows in Montreal last week of January, and then some shows in Quebec City, 3 or 4 shows.
3, 4, 5. 7. You're right.
And then I believe 3 in Quebec City.
Yep.
No.
4. Yep.
4 in Quebec City. So 11 opportunities to see Sammy either here or in Quebec City in late January. Tickets online at sugarsammy.com. Sugarsammy.com. Great Christmas gift.
Yeah, really great Christmas gift. Have those tickets under the tree and go to the website and watch some of his work. He posts a lot of clips, they're just terrific. They're so much fun. I can't think of anybody who's as good at crowd work as he is.
Yeah, he's terrific.
He's just fantastic. There's all kinds of like if you look at his website, Manos just put it up. Excuse me, I got the hiccups. Médecins au Québec, Lady Gaga's bodyguard,
gay men and a Karen. That should be good.
Yeah, that'll be a dandy. Sugarsammy.com. Sugar has been a proud sponsor of the podcasts for the last year plus, and we're deeply appreciative of that. Thank you very much, Sammy. Sugarsammy.com. Okay. I got a note. By the way, if you're traveling this year for Christmas, a lot of people will be on the train.
Well, I think they always are. No?
Yes, very busy. Ding, 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 ding. Did you see the story about the
train that got stuck overnight?
Yeah,
I did. I heard about it, but I haven't read. I don't know the details.
They left people on the train for like 14 hours.
Thanks.
Yeah, thanks a lot. That's great. People, anyway, it's what I've learned.
Wouldn't they, after 8 hours, gone, you know what, let's get everybody on a bus and get them to a hotel?
They apparently couldn't find a bus. So, I mean, God, yes. Anyway, listen, I don't want to go down this train hole again because if you're a regular listener to the podcast, I talked about Via Rail a few weeks ago because I hadn't been on the train for 25 years, and I had a 50-50 split. Which everybody I've spoken to said that's kind of what the train is. It's a bit of a gamble. So sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. Sometimes everything's perfect and wonderful, and other time it's a shit. So that's the way it goes, I suppose. So if you're traveling by train, good luck to you. I wanted to tell you about this note I got from Richard Bartram. Excuse me. Richard Bartram is a longtime friend of ours and worked for WestJet for many, many years. He's now retired from WestJet. And Richard's on a bit of I don't know if you want to call it a crusade, but he wants people to know about why flying is so expensive versus what it costs to ride on the train. And he's been on a bunch of podcasts. We may have him on in the new year because I think it's an interesting story. And when he heard me telling the Via Rail story, he sent me a note. He said, "Hey, Tara, congratulations on the success with the podcast. I really enjoy the Montreal plug-in and recharge out west." He lives in Calgary. "I got a kick out of last week's train story heading back and forth from Toronto on Via." Excuse me. "As I continue to write on reform in the Canadian airline space, I thought you might appreciate an interesting comparator in Via Rail and how it stacks up against the challenges that airlines face." Now, this is quick. I'm not going to go on and on about this, but in 2024, Via Rail had $480 million in revenue, $865 million in operating expenses, and $527 million in capital expenditures. Now, I'm not an MBA, and I'm not an accountant.
But they seem to be running at a deficit there.
They seem to be.
Yes.
Right. So it says, as a total from their annual report, they've marked total funding required $912 million. The next line on their annual report says government funding, $912 million. So Via Rail moves 4.3 million people a year. That's the same amount of passengers WestJet and Air Canada move in 3 weeks. So 4.3 million people take the train in a year. 4.3 million people take the plane in 3 weeks. The taxpayer, every time a passenger gets on a Via Rail train, it costs the Canadian taxpayer, all of us, each Canadian, $208. And the airlines are expensive because of all the fees and whatnot they get charged by the government. Anyway, the point of it is, I think, there needs to be better balance between the money that's being gobbled up by the train system for okay service, I guess you would call it. Would you call it okay service, I guess, right?
In my experience, it's been okay.
Yeah.
I've not had the bad experience that you had, but I haven't traveled by train a lot.
So when Jess and I took the train, it was $416 each way to the taxpayer.
Per person?
No, $208 per person.
Oh, you're talking about according to
direction.
Richard's calculations.
Yeah. So thank you, taxpayer.
Yeah.
Anyway, I thought it's an interesting story, and we may pursue it in the new year. And Merry Christmas, Richard. Thank you for sending that. And if you're taking Via Rail during the holidays, listen, like I said, we had a great experience going to Toronto and not a great experience coming home. I hope you have a great experience. I hope it all goes well. I hope the weather's good, that everybody's on time, and that you don't get stuck in Belleville for 12 hours. I hope that one of the reasons I know about the Belleville thing is Chantal Hébert, the famous columnist, and CBC
commentator.
pundit. Yeah. She was on that train.
Oh, was she?
Yeah. So she had time to tweet.
What'd she have to say? Not impressed?
So say pas bon,
No,
or something to that effect. Yeah. Anyway, if you're traveling, all the best to you. Keep in touch.
I used to drive to Fredericton every Christmas.
God,
Can you imagine driving from Montreal to Fredericton in the middle of winter?
No.
And I remember one trip where it was during freezing rain. So several hours of the drive, the highway was like a skating rink. Oh, God. But I was 26 years old and invincible.
Yeah, you're bulletproof.
So I didn't really care. It was like, oh, well, I guess I'll get there a little bit later. I wouldn't even consider it now.
Yeah. When I was coaching hockey, people who lived on the prairies will understand this. When I was coaching hockey, I think I was 22, maybe 21. and I had a Volkswagen Beetle, and I had, I think, 3 kids with me from the hockey team. I was driving them home, and we got caught in a prairie flash blizzard on the perimeter highway. And the perimeter highway that goes around Winnipeg, it's just prairie. There are no buildings. There's nothing to stop the snow and the wind. So I thought, I can get through this. And I had 2 of the kids walk in front of the car to tell me where the highway was. Jesus. What the hell's the matter with me? We all got home safe because we got picked up by a guy in a pickup truck who said, you got to get off the road, you idiot.
Yeah.
But it's funny, when you're in your 20s, you don't even think of it.
You're invincible.
I want to drive to see my mom and dad on Thursday. And last night I was on the environment.
Checking the weather?
Yeah. I got to see you there.
For next Thursday?
Yeah. It's going to rain. And what have we got fruit? I guess that comes with age. Do you think?
Oh, definitely. Yeah. Yeah. You become more... Well, you become wiser, more cautious, and lazier. I don't want to drive to Fredericton. No, in the summertime, it's great. Yeah. If I have someone to share the drive with, I went down with Charlie this year. We had a blast.
And you said he did most of the driving.
Yeah.
I don't, I'm not a fan of I don't even like to be on the 401 for very long anymore.
Well, do you see the trucks in the ditch now on the 401?
Yeah.
I can remember a time, and I was thinking about this today as I was getting onto the 40 to come across the 40 and the Met to get to the studio. And every time I see a tractor trailer now, like I'm on my guard, I'm watching them. I had a guy pull out in a tractor trailer last week or the week before on the 20. Like I'm coming along at about 110, and he pulls out from the right lane right in front of me, and I had to slam, and I mean slam on the brakes to not plow into the back end of this tractor trailer who changed lanes without signaling.
Yeah.
And I can remember a time when if I saw a truck on the road, a tractor trailer, I would think, okay, well, there's a guy, at least he knows what he's doing.
Yep.
I don't have to worry about him because he knows what he's doing. Now it's the opposite because it requires a different skill set from a magic carpet to drive an 18-wheeler.
It sure does. And I remember that there was a time when that was a serious profession.
Yeah.
Now you can go to Al's truck driving school and get a piece of paper and get hired.
Yeah, they're getting fraudulent licenses, and that industry has changed and not for the better.
Yeah, so beware. The 401 is an outdated highway, and there's not much you can do about that. We were talking the other day about the Met. The Met is an outdated highway. Can you imagine what it's going to be like when they have to start addressing that problem?
Yeah. Well, we'll be pushing up daisies. So.
Oh, you think it's going to be that long? I don't know.
You don't know?
Have you looked closely at the Met? Have you been down at
underneath
the
Haven't
Met?
taken a good look.
Yeah,
no.
Take a good look.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. It's the same thing as the interchange.
What? Terry's doing hand signals for the interchange. The DeCarry interchange?
No. God damn it.
The Anjou interchange?
No, the work that they did for the
Turcotte interchange?
Thank you. The Turcotte interchange. Ding, 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 ding. There you go.
Now, what was I hunting for? Was it a possum? No, not a possum. Hippopotamus? No.
I lived on St. Catherine Street across from the Armory, and I used to duck down through the Glen and go under the Turcotte interchange in the 1990s. And I would look up and go, Tabaknak, this is not good. It you could see the rebar, you could see the cement was crumbling. You could see
that's all been redone now?
Yeah, it was all was all redone. And
so how long do you think it's going to be before they have to do that with the Met?
I don't know because
Are you not an engineer?
No.
You're not a structural engineer?
No.
You're not?
But I'm not. But I remember saying on the radio, I'm no engineer, but that don't look good.
Yeah.
If that was happening at your house, you'd go, we better get somebody in to look at that.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you remember, but the Champlain Bridge for years it's closed this weekend for repairs. It's closed this weekend for repairs. It's closed this weekend for repairs. It's closed. It's closed right now. Because they panicked because they found something that was really bad and they had to shut it down suddenly and put a big Band-Aid on it. And not long after that, they got money for a new bridge. So I'm wondering how far the Met is away from that. I don't wish that on us because it's enough. I hope it's a long way away, but I think it's coming.
Speaking of getting somebody in to look at something, shall we segue to our friends and sponsors at Accutech?
I think we should.
I don't know if that's the order that you have the commercials in, but I thought there's an opportunity right there.
Yes.
If you've got something electrical that needs to be looked at, you can't do any better than Accutech. As Terry likes to say, they know what this wire does.
We were talking about them Monday night. Monday night, we were watching football, and at 10 o'clock sharp, everything went dark. Jess went on her phone and found out that Hydro was doing a project and didn't let anybody know, and we would have no power from 10 to 5. And we have a little tiny generator that's a whole dog and pony show that you got to pull it out and get it in, plug it in, and it was minus $1 million. And it was 10 o'clock at night, and we weren't doing it, so we just got the extra blankets out and went to bed. And I said, I have to talk to Trish and Tom about Generac, because Generac is the generator. And
they are Generac affiliated.
Yes, yeah, and they'll be able to walk me through it. So they can walk you through that, because we want to get a Generac at our house now, I think. And we have some money put aside for
a generator?
No.
But it might be spent on a generator?
Yeah, I think Generac is like I think it's the Bentley of generators. And I think we want one at the house because we live in an area where Hydro does that.
Well, you live up north in the country.
Yeah, and you can lose your power quickly.
Yeah.
They can handle that. They can handle lighting at your new store. They can handle a new
They do industrial too.
Yes.
Like if you have a factory and you have something that needs to be done electricity-wise, electorally.
Yeah, and as I always like to say, if you have to unplug the toaster before you turn on the lights, you might want to get that looked at.
They're online at Accutech, ACUTECH.ca.
I saw your post about Merson. It was actually Merson's post, I think, wasn't it?
I reposted.
Yeah, they've been open for months. I thought that was funny.
They have a really good social media company doing their stuff on Instagram and Facebook, and they do some very funny and useful and informative videos. And my joke is they got Mark Ruffalo to play Celso because Celso looks like Mark Ruffalo a little bit. So, Merson Automotive, another longtime sponsor of the podcast, and they're doing a January special. With an oil change comes a free mini inspection, and this is a good time of the year to get your car inspected because you don't want to be doing what Terry was doing out in the prairies all those years ago. You don't want to be breaking down when it's minus 15 or minus 20. So go see the Mersons, get your oil changed in the month of January, and get a free mini inspection. Go before then if you feel like you need to. There's never... Well, I suppose there is a schedule for automotive maintenance, but if something is starting to bang and clang and clink and clank, probably best to stop by.
Yes.
And if you don't have your winter tires on yet, what's the matter with you? The Mersons can handle that as well, and they won't tell on you. They won't phone the SQ and say, we got one.
And if your car is making that noise, bring it to them so the noise will stop when you try and show them what noise it is. You ever done that?
Yeah. No, I swear it was making that noise.
Don't you hear that? I'm sorry, I'm not paying attention because I spilled my coffee.
Oh? Yeah. Oh, no.
Yeah. All over the floor.
You want some paper towel?
Well,
or
I'd like
with
some
the
paper
Kleenex?
towels, but we'll deal with that later.
Merson Automotive, over 50 years in the business. They're at St. Jacques and Cavendish and online at mersonauto.com. Can we do the tweet sheet?
We love them.
We do.
Yes, we can do the tweet sheet, as a matter of fact.
It only occurred to me after we started that I don't have any Christmas tweets. I probably should have curated a Christmas tweet sheet.
Oh, what are you going to do? That's
fine.
But I
didn't. Yeah, but I still think you're going to enjoy them. Do you want me to wait for you to finish cleaning up the coffee?
It's pretty much done. I didn't want to step in it. That's all.
The funny from Twitter this past week. We'll start with this one. From @the_Andrew_Nadeau, Jurassic Park needs to stop making sequels and start making spin-offs. Stop just showing me people fighting dinosaurs. I want to see a velociraptor that's trying to make it on Broadway.
You should be a screenwriter.
From @Steve versus Ninjas, Menards is what a pirate says when you kick him in the balls. Menards. And from @Tommy Tough Stuff, me, my face covered in Cheeto dust. I will be representing myself today in court, Your Honor.
That's always a bad idea. Eh?
Yeah.
What's the old saying? A person who has a lawyer himself as a lawyer.
Person who's his own lawyer is going
idiot.
to jail.
I object. Do you know? I wanted to mention another Christmassy thing, the Ogilvy's window. Remember the Ogilvy's?
I do. I remember it well.
Yeah. It was a real Montreal classic, and a lot of people don't know. It's on Sherbrooke Street now at the McCord Museum. You can bring your kids by.
Yeah. Is the Piper there too?
I don't think the Piper's there, and I think Spoonman is retired. Remember Spoonman?
Oh, I forgot about Spoonman.
Which was great unless you lived near Spoonman. God, yes. He was you know what? I was of two minds because he was such a Montreal staple.
Yeah.
I used to
love...
a
Montreal original.
Yeah, a real Montreal original. And he was parked in front of Ogilvy's most of the winter. And he was really good at it.
Yeah.
He was like a legit spoon player.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if that's a job. Well, he made it a job.
Yeah. Well, he would have fit in at any thing that you couldn't remember the name of a couple of weeks ago.
Cabana Sook.
Yeah.
Anyway, that used to be a real staple. I remember I used to like to take my nieces and my nephew when they would come to Montreal for Christmas. We would drive around town.
Sorry.
It's okay. We would drive around town, and I would love to show them the sights. So we would drive through Verdun because Verdun always had these beautiful light displays. And, did you find him? Oh, there's the Ogilvy's window. Thank you, Mano. Mano is just showing the original Ogilvy's window is now at the McCord Museum, and it's right on Sherbrooke. You don't have to go in. You can just see it right there. And it's a real piece of Montreal heritage, which is just terrific. I'm glad that they kept it. And if you're of a certain age, you'll remember when Ogilvy's was at the corner of St. Catherine and Diddley-Do. And right next to, he was almost in front of the window. So it was very festive. You know, it was the Christmas window and kids were looking in, and he had a little cart, and I think he had CDs at one point too, because he was playing background music. You know, it's very Quebecois.
Oh, boy, is it ever.
Big Quebec tradition.
You don't see that on the Champs-Élysées.
No, you don't. It's very Quebecois, and I'm pretty sure he's retired. But the window you can go see at the McCord Museum. The other thing I wanted to mention at this time of the year, Jess pointed this out to me the other day, and she said, I've got to get back on this. They're really struggling to find blood donors.
Oh?
Apparently blood supplies are very, very low. And when I was in the hospital after my surgery, I needed a lot of blood and took a lot of blood. And I can't give blood because I'm on a drug for my skin condition. And my blood contains that drug that they don't want to pass along. So I'm not allowed to give blood. Jess is going to step up her contributions this year because she said, you know, when you were in the hospital, you needed a lot of blood. We've got to contribute. Anyway, I mention it so that if you're a blood donor and you've fallen off or you're waiting for the Canadians blood donor clinic or whatever, if you can find a blood donor clinic in Quebec near you, they really, really are struggling to top up the blood supply in not just this province, but across the country. I thought I would mention that.
I think the Canadians blood donor clinic might have happened already.
I think it already did.
And they've made a change to it. Now when you go, they just get Arbor Jack Eye to beat the shit out of you, and then they just clean up all the blood, and that's what they use.
Then you get a donut. Pitch that at the marketing meeting. How about this? How about we get Jack Eye to kick the shit out of everybody
and give them a donut?
The other thing too that Jess and I do this week is we, if you can, contribute to local charities. They also are struggling. They do every year. The Gazette Christmas Fund, because nobody reads the newspaper much anymore except online. It's a favorite charity of mine. And I was reading Bill Brownstein's column about it. They, their donations are down, which is, I don't know, mainstream media kind of, it makes sense. Not as many people see the paper, et cetera, et cetera. And I've got a list of people, the Montreal Children's Hospital, and because of my experience in Vancouver, the Vancouver General Hospital is on my list because they saved my life. So anyway, 'tis the season to be generous if you can. So find a favorite charity and do what you can, would you? I also thought we would go through the mail because last week we had a lot of mail. A lot of people really enjoyed the episode last week, I think because of the CJD thing we talked about.
The hullabaloo?
Yeah, it was a hullabaloo. I didn't mean to make it a hullabaloo, but apparently it was a hullabaloo.
We actually heard from a few people who, like you, had done yeoman's service at CJD and was not invited to the 80th anniversary.
They had their 80th anniversary, and I didn't get an invite, and a lot of people thought I was crying. I wasn't crying.
No,
I was like, oh, shit.
I don't think a lot of people thought you were crying. No. I think there was probably a handful of people who might have thought that, but anyone who knows anything about radio and the history of CJD and your tenure there would agree that it would have been appropriate for you to be invited. There were other people who didn't have as high a profile there, but put in a lot of years who didn't get invited. Yeah. And I heard from a few of them, and I'm not going to name them by name because, they contacted me privately, so it would be unfair to name them publicly, but a lot of people felt slighted.
Yeah. It's, it was kind of shitty. Yeah. And from my understanding, because I heard from some people there who called me to say, I'm sorry you didn't get invited. It was shittily organized. What a surprise.
Yeah, and it was in a small room, and there was a fire code. And, you know what? Rent a bigger room.
Yeah. Dog ate my homework. Yeah. Sun's in my eyes.
Rent a bigger room and bribe the fire marshal. Yeah.
All right, before we get to the mail, let's thank our good friends at Robert Richer Jewelers.
Did you finish your chocolates?
Yes, the chocolates are gone.
How long did they last?
Not long.
3 minutes?
About 3 minutes.
Did you get the ones with liquor in them?
Yep.
You see, I can't eat those ones. Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm allowed if I want to. It's just that, I'll eat 4 or 5 and then wake up 3 days later in Mexico, as I said last week. So aren't they good though?
Oh, and I'm a new fan of stroopwafel. Yeah. Is it stroopwafel?
Stroopwafel.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. None of this has anything to do with jewelry.
No.
The connection is that Pierre from Robert Richer Jewelers goes to, I was going to say Amsterdam, Antwerp, Belgium, the diamond capital of the world, twice a year on a diamond buying trip, and he always brings us back handmade Belgian chocolates and stroopwafel. And we thank you for that, Pierre.
That's an indication of the kind of family you're dealing with at Robert Richer Jewelers. These are really lovely people.
Yeah, they're good people. Yeah. And if you're looking for Christmas gifts, and I was going to say, if you're looking for something, if you really want to go to town and you got somebody special who you want to drop a lot of money on, you can do that at Robert Richer Jewelers. Yeah. Pierre has some of the finest diamonds in the world. He's just come back from Antwerp, but you don't have to go all in. You don't have to spend big bucks. Robert Richer Jewelers have gifts for all budgets, starting with
I like that.
Yeah, the Quebec Suicide Prevention Awareness bracelet that I wear. That was $35.
Yeah, and it's very nice.
It's beautiful, and they've got it in a few different models with a few different stones as well. So you can go from there, or you can go tens of thousands of dollars for a big-ass diamond if you want.
Beautiful necklace, set of earrings. And Linda and Carol are great guides.
Yeah.
They're great guides. If you're looking for some female advice on, what would be appropriate, what would be nice, it's such a great spot. It's not big. It's not intimidating. It's in a great location, just across from the Hoofenfauf.
309 Dorval Avenue.
Yeah. Just we're really big fans of Robert Richer Jewelers. And 'tis the season. If you're looking for a last-minute gift, that's a good place to go as we record this towards, what are we, 10 days from Christmas? Less than that.
The 17th, we're 8 days out. A week and a day. December 17th, which is the date that, robertricher.ca, by the way,
yes,
online. December 17th, which is the date that this episode comes out, is also the 15th anniversary of Playground Poker.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Oh, happy anniversary,
15
guys.
years old today. Yeah. And from humble beginnings, they've become a big-time establishment on the South Shore in Ganawage. I mean, you're not going to find a nicer poker room or gaming house outside of Las Vegas than Playground.
Well, the
on
slogan
the South
is
Shore. It's the strip without the trip.
There you go.
20 minutes from downtown Montreal or the West Island. So happy anniversary to them. December 17th is their 15th anniversary. They're celebrating by giving away $100,000 in cash prizes at the poker tables on the 17th. They're also open Christmas Day, open New Year's Day. So if you're looking for something to do Christmas or New Year's, if you want to get out of the house, why not shoot over to Playground, play some poker, play some slots, play the electronic blackjack, or the spinny with the ball game.
Yes.
Roulette.
That's what you call. I can see you. This is somebody you can see them coming.
Yeah.
Can we play the spinny game with the ball? Yes, you can. Come this way.
As long as you want. They've also got a new Friday special at the Rail, their coal-fired bistro, called Cinq ou Sept, where you can get pretty much anything on the breakfast menu for $5 or on the lunch menu for $7. What do you get for $5 or $7 at a restaurant these days, let alone a full-course meal?
Yeah.
That's what I love the best about Playground. I'm not a card player. I'm not a gambler, but the restaurants, and there are 3 of them, are all fantastic. Go online, playground.ca, and get your player's card, because that makes you eligible for all of the promotions in the restaurants and otherwise. It's free. Register online. Pick it up at customer service when you get there.
It's a really cool atmosphere, too.
It's great.
It's really a
great
fun
spot.
atmosphere. Yeah. I thought we would mention, I was going through the mail this week. We answered most of the mail. We say this every week. We read every letter we get. We answer almost all of them. And if you're a return emailer, there are some people who email us every week, and if we haven't answered every one, I'm sorry we didn't get to you. It was really busy. Like I said, last week's episode proved to be quite popular. I guess people were talking, excuse me, about the anniversary.
It resonated. Thank you, Ted. That's the perfect way to describe it. And I went through the mail, and I thought I would mention some of the people who sent us notes. Thanks to Stuart Nullman for sending his letter. Gary Smith, thank you for your recommendations. Robert LaRock loves to take the podcast on road trips. Peter Waschik and Linda Moore both wanted to talk about the snub, the lack of invitation. So did Ian and Tom Shipman. Thanks for your notes. Gina Page sent us a note. She's not a Royal Mount fan. Doesn't want it to fail, but doesn't like it. We were talking last week about Royal Mount and how we want to see it succeed. And we think it's pretty cool and easy to get in and out of. Not everybody agrees with us. Thanks for your note, Gina. David Tarlock, I hope I'm reading my own writing properly. Dave is from Vermont and used to listen to us when we were on the radio, and found the podcast and was excited to find it. Neil Moffat moved to the USA in 2017. He also discovered the podcast and sent us a note. Natalie Levac sent me a very funny YouTube video on the guys who was stuck, couldn't get out of his seatbelt. I haven't watched that.
Yeah, it's really funny. It's a guy, obviously someone's father, who can't get out of his seatbelt. I mentioned last week, when I'm in an Uber or in someone else's car and I'm in the back seat, I'm at that age where I struggle trying to find... You can't
even find the seatbelt.
Yeah, I'm looking for the thing to plug in the thing. Anyway, so thanks for that, Natalie. Francine Vallée said... Can't read my own handwriting. I think she listens every week. Sam Chan is in Maryland and said, Ted's the bomb. He didn't know you. He said, that's the guy who said I'm a Terry DeMonte fan. I've
never heard of Ted Bird, though.
Yeah.
But he's pretty good. Thanks, Sam. That reminded me of the time Pat Hickey's wife said, Ted Bird, I thought he died.
It was a really, really nice letter, and he loved your honesty and candor with which you spoke of me being not invited to the party.
Excluded from the CJAD party?
And said,
stand by, Sam. More candor coming up.
He said, Ted's the bomb. Thanks, Sam, for listening from Maryland. We appreciate that. Frank Viviani just found us. Stumbled on the podcast and is looking backwards, into our old episodes. Thank you, Frank.
So is Frank someone else who used to listen to us on the radio and now has discovered us on the podcast?
So. Yeah.
That's the challenge
with
podcasting is cutting through the clutter. Because when we were a morning radio show, what were there, 5 or 6 English radio shows in Montreal?
Yeah.
So not nearly as much clutter to cut through.
Yeah.
But everybody's got a podcast.
Yeah.
So
this is why every week we ask you to subscribe and to leave a review if you can, because it helps.
Apparently that helps with the algorithm.
Yeah, and last week with more people finding the episode, I think that exposed us to more people.
Good. Glad to hear it.
I think. I'm not a podcast expert.
No, you're not a guru?
No, just...
Well, that's why we have your wife as our executive producer.
That's exactly right. And our buddy Matt Kendall. Mm-hmm. He's been in the podcast game for 1,000 years now. Chris Jew, I hope I'm pronouncing that right, Chris. Subscribing. He wanted to know about subscribing. I was like, what did I write here? Sue Briscabring? Bad handwriting.
I'm going to start with the Sue Briscabring, and then I'm going to have...
And I had a couple of notes from a couple of people, Ruby and some other folks, who wanted to know if I'm going to have Justin on the podcast. Justin Trudeau is a friend of mine, former prime minister. I used to do a podcast with him every Christmas. Are we still friends? The answer is yes. Justin was at my house on Saturday afternoon. He came over for lunch. Jess cooked him a nice lunch.
Did he bring Katy Perry?
He did not bring Katy Perry. He did not. We had a nice lunch. As you know, we're friends, and people ask me all the time, do we agree on everything? No. And am I going to have him on the podcast? No. Justin is, I think, deservedly so. Other than his new relationship, keeping a low profile, staying out of politics, and just keeping in the back seat. And I completely understand that, completely support it. I had Jess and I had a lovely lunch with him. We've been friends since he was 17. And now that he's not prime minister anymore, he doesn't want to come in and talk about politics and, what did he do and what he didn't do and everything. So the answer is no. Justin and I are still friends. It was a lovely lunch, but unfortunately, if you were looking forward to that, he will not be a guest on the podcast. Jess and I are also watching a lot of Christmas movies, so we don't have a ton of recommendations this week. I've mentioned this on the podcast, I think last week, we're nutty crazy about Stranger Things. And Stranger Things just released a new trailer for the 3 new episodes they're going to release on Christmas Day. That's what we're going to be doing. Because now the Christmas Day football games are going to be shit.
Oh, are there teams that are playing are not in it?
Yeah, I think it's Kansas City is in one game, and
so there's nothing on the line. There's nothing at stake.
I don't think so. I think it might be Vikings Lions on Netflix.
Well, the Vikings and Lions are in the playoff hunt.
Yeah,
it could affect where they end up in terms of playoff ranking.
Yeah. Wait. So anyway, and with the great thing about streaming is you can watch it when you want. But with Stranger Things, the internet is ablaze with theories about how Stranger Things is going to end.
I hear they all die.
Rats ruined. 3 episodes come out on Christmas Day, and the absolute finale, the last episode ever, is on New Year's Eve. Okay? So if you're a Stranger Things fan, there's that. And a reminder that John Elway's documentary comes out this week, December the 21st. Even if you're not an Elway fan, I think that's an interesting story.
John Elway is a former quarterback of the Denver Broncos who went on to become team president.
Yep.
Have I got that right?
I think you do. Yeah. And I don't know about you, but I find these journeys fascinating. Like I recommended the Dallas Cowboys Netflix documentary. to a lot of people, and everybody was like, I fucking hate the Cowboys. I'm not watching that. But the story about Jerry Jones.
Well, that's what it is. It's the story.
Yes, it's the story about Jerry Jones coming from nothing and his path and his journey, and the Cowboys' journey through the 80s is quite fascinating. I mean, it comes complete with, trophies and hookers and drugs and houses of ill repute. And in that documentary, I learned that some of the Cowboys bought a home close to the practice facility so they could practice and then go have the whoop-de-doo.
Really, eh?
Yes. Yeah, it's fascinating stuff.
Lawrence Taylor would have made a hell of a cowboy then.
Oh, boy. He really liked
good
the
old
cowboy.
LT.
Eh?
Can you imagine how good I would have been if I didn't drink a bottle of Johnny Walker Black every day?
And I also wanted to tip my cap to Dave Stubbs. When Bobby Russo passed away this past week, there was Dave Stubbs from NHL.com. He does such great work. I mean, not just when people die, but he's so plugged into the history of the National Hockey League. They hired him years ago from his newspaper job to become not the historian. But
yeah, he is. He's the official historian of the National Hockey.
Title?
I believe so. Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, but he always does an appropriately glowing tribute.
Yeah.
Whenever one of the old timers passes on, you wouldn't want anyone but Dave to write the tributes.
He gets to know the families, and he has personal relationships. And you feel the emotion. Like when Tony Esposito died, it really floored Dave. He was really, really close with Tony Esposito.
Well, when we had Dave in the studio talking about Guy Lafleur, he wore his emotion on his sleeve.
Yeah. Bernie Perron's another one. He just
Glenn
paid
Hall.
tribute to Glenn Hall. Really, really just great work. NHL.com in case you, I mean, if you're a hockey fan, you must know about it. There's a pause.
Yeah.
I guess we're done.
The pause that refreshes.
It does it?
Yes.
Does it?
I feel very refreshed. Yes, let's go on holidays, shall we?
Okay.
From our 1 day a week job.
Yeah. Oh, are we exhausted? This podcasting thing.
It's wearing me out.
Yeah. I said to Jess last night, I got to go to work tomorrow. And she went, work?
Yeah.
Yeah. As I tell everybody, we're just having fun. And we're really, really lucky.
And grateful to our sponsors.
Yeah.
We said it at the beginning of the podcast. We'll say it again at the end because we couldn't do it without them.
Yeah. It was, 5 years ago now that Pantelis and Mike Ward said, you guys, you need to have a podcast. And I was skeptical and you were skeptical. And then I moved here and you got fired and
it all worked out.
And it all worked out in the end. And I can't tell you how grateful we are to people that email and literally, like it doesn't happen all the time, but a lot of people stop us out in public.
Yeah. Stop and say, love the podcast. Yeah. And it happens more and more, so it seems like we're on the right track.
So, if you want to communicate with us, the best way to do it is go to terryandtedpodcast.com. That's our website. It's a simple website. It's easy to find, easy to navigate. And you'll see the little crawler right on the top of the website. Manos put it up on the screen if you're watching. Click here to watch and subscribe to the YouTube channel. You click on that crawler, and boom, all our new episodes from this season come up. If you're looking for an older episode, just go to the YouTube website in the search tab. Type in Terry and Ted Podcast, and you'll see all the older episodes. I'm going to mention the Christmas special again. If you're looking for a Christmassy kind of affair, it's called Standing By the Christmas Special. Okay? Standing By the Christmas Special. And it's from 4 years ago. And that's the one with all our special guests. There it is. Mano's put it up on the screen. Thanks, Mano. Jan Arden, JD Power and Associates. No, what was it?
PJ Stock.
PJ Stock. Jan Arden, Maureen Holloway, Krista Berg.
Our moms. Yeah, it's really a fun Christmassy episode. And a little bit of Paul Reed, which is a very, very Montreal thing. And that's a tip of the cap to Mike Reed and his family for giving us the green light to do that. If you're looking for something Christmassy, I highly recommend it. We're great.
Also, please subscribe to the Standing By YouTube channel at Standing By the Podcast. You can go to the website and subscribe there. And by the way, thank you. I think we're up over 600 subscribers now. Like I said, I say every week, not Joe Rogan numbers, but our little Montreal
baby
podcast.
Steps, baby steps.
You can follow us on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter. Ted's done a great job with our Facebook page. It keeps growing in number. I think we're over 5,000 people now. Again, not huge, but for a Montreal podcast, not bad.
Yeah, and if you're on Facebook, check and see if we've asked you to like the podcast, because I ask everybody who weighs in. You know, I do the little thing where you say, you know, send an invitation to like the podcast. Please like us. Please like us.
Yeah.
Now that helps again with the algorithm and with growing the podcast.
It does.
So we'd be grateful.
Also, if you leave a review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, because it helps people discover the podcast. And I know we're groveling a little bit, but we're like anybody else. You start something and you're just trying to grow it and, you know, make it successful.
I ain't too proud to grovel.
No.
Ain't too proud to beg.
That's right. Here you go. There's a song about that somewhere, isn't there?
I wrote that.
Merry Christmas. Happy Hanukkah. Hope you have a safe and wonderful holiday with your family and friends. Enjoy every minute. Every single minute. Doesn't go on forever, as we talked about at the beginning of the podcast. My thanks to Mano for Yeoman Production. My thanks to Jessica, my wife and the executive producer of this podcast. Who am I forgetting, Ted?
Sam Bird does the promos for this podcast.
Sam.
Thank you, Sam.
Yeah. And again, our thanks to the Riches, Robert Richer Jewelers, the Mersons, Playground Poker, Sugar Sammy, our friends at Accutech, and the UPS Store Canada, our title sponsor of the Standing By podcast. Merry Christmas. We'll be back with a new episode on January the 6th.
Standing By, the Terry and Ted podcast is hosted by Terry DeMonte and Ted Bird and is brought to you by the UPS Store Canada. The executive producer of Standing By is Jessica Dion.